Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. And I know many of you haven't seen me posting for the last 2 months, and that's purely because I've been focusing on other things and I have been posting elsewhere, which has been mainly on TikTok. Now, as many of you guys know, many of you already know who's following me from there already, you guys know I've already been posting a hell of a lot on TikTok and I've been focusing a lot on TikTok. And that's purely because now I've got it all completely set up the way I wanted to. Obviously, I'm making a lot more than I do on YouTube. As many of you guys know, YouTube's, you know, if you're not a creator, you won't know, but as a creator, any creators know, YouTube's hitting the ground every day and TikTok's taking over. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of content creators from YouTube are trying on TikTok, but they're not making it. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's easy because it ain't, but I'm making it and I'm doing very, very well on there. I'm doing better than some big channels, even on YouTube, that have got more subscribers than myself, big YouTubers, yet they can't capitalize on TikTok. Yet I'm capitalizing on it, being the only person who seems to be doing BMW related content at the moment. Obviously, as many of you guys know, TikTok's a more younger community, and obviously I'm managing to apply to the younger minded people in the younger community. Obviously I got very clever at it and knew and was watching a lot of people, and obviously I had someone guiding me in how to get that kind of audience, which I have now, and it's working really, really well for me. So that's why I haven't been focusing so much on YouTube, purely because I've been focusing on TikTok, and I think that's where my attention is going to stay for now, purely because I'm doing very, very well, and then I don't want to take my mind off that, because obviously there's a lot of growth potential on there, and obviously the rewards are very big as well, if you know what you're doing, if you've got your channel set up correctly on TikTok, which I have now. So at the moment I'm just steaming it on there, and obviously I never thought I would. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I went on there knowing I would be, but it just ended up happening, and it's going very, very well, and the growth is just phenomenal. So I'm going to be staying to that side of things. The reason I'm doing a video today is purely because Collaboration has asked me to do a video. They sent the product, asked me to do it on YouTube specifically, and that's what they sent it for. So I'm going to focus on doing that today for this channel. But I do have a lot of other collaborations I've got to do for TikTok, which have been sent to me. I've got to get them done as well. So that's where my focus is going to be. And obviously, as many of you guys know, with TikTok, you know, when you do collaborations on there, it's constant. And obviously every time, you know, you sell these products, you make a lot of money from them as well. So it's not like YouTube at all, where people can just go elsewhere. You can buy directly from the TikTok shop. So there's a lot of money to be made on TikTok compared to YouTube, the way YouTube's laid out. And like I said, I'm very happy with myself, purely because, like I said, there's many channels that are on YouTube that are bigger than me, and they are not getting the same recognition as I've got on TikTok, or even the amount of views that I'm getting on TikTok. So I can't knock myself, and you know, I can't fault TikTok. It's been good to me. Other people ain't. There is other people trying and they're not getting anywhere, but to me it's been very good and it's worked very well for me, so I can't knock it at all. So in today's video, I'm just going to get straight into it, and I want to now focus on a scan tool that's sent to me. This specifically applies only for BMW. This isn't one of your generic scanners that work for all cars. It's specifically for BMW. Hence why I'm doing this video on this channel for all you BMW guys. Now, I know many of you will notice what brand it is the moment I get it, and you guys will know they've already got a good reputation regarding BMW and diagnostic scan tools. They've been around for many, many years, and you can't fault them. I'll go over the scan tool with you, tell you the price, we'll plug it up to the car so you guys can get to see all the features it's got and all the functions. After that, then you guys can make up your mind if it's worth it or not. But I will say right now, it's not highly expensive scan tool, but it's still expensive for what you'd pay in this day and age, considering you can buy others for £100. Obviously, I can't mention no names because it's a collaboration video, but many of you guys know which one I'm going on about already. But as I said, it's down to you what you guys think of it. So let's get onto the video and I'll show you the scan tool. So here it is, guys. This is the Foxwell NT710 multi-system tablet scanner. And many of you guys know already, Foxwell are very, very well known in the BMW community, Mercedes community, the Volkswagen community, because they do all different scan tools for every different manufacturer. So they're really, really good, and they, you know, go out their way to purposely build a scan tool and the software around just that manufacturer alone. So it works really, really well. Now, this one, if you look on the back, was sent to me and it did have Mercedes-Benz on it. But they have updated it now, which I've already got it all updated, and they sent me via the serial number the BMW software and removed the Mercedes-Benz one because I told them I didn't need that. But they didn't have any BMW ones left. So it's something that many of you guys might come across when you buy this. You might get sent a Mercedes one or a Volkswagen one. Do not be worried, because they'll just ask you for your serial number on the device when you get it. You send it to them and they'll send you the BMW program to download. As you'll see, it says Benz, but when I turn it on, you'll end up seeing it's got all the BMW software ready to use for BMW. So if we just open it up, just take this sleeve off. And you can see there, it's in a hard case, foxwell case. Inside, you've got your VCI cable, which plugs up to the scan tool. You've got your instruction manual there, which I don't think I need to guide many of you on. That's all that is there. And then obviously you've got your scan tool. You can see I've opened it because I had to update everything, which I didn't need to plug it up to the car for that. It come with battery power already. I updated it to put all the BMW software on it. You can see there, it's, you know, it seems okay. For the Foxwell scan tool, for the price of it, you can't really knock it. But as I said to many of you guys, you can get cheap alternatives. But we're going to see what this one can do. I do believe it's going to be able to do the same thing as all the other ones can do, because all these Chinese companies seem to use the same kind of software and configuration for all cars, especially when they're specific for a manufacturer. So I don't expect anything less. Like I say, it's got the rugged grip feel, so you'll be able to hold it, and even if it drops, it's just going to bounce. We'll turn it on right now so you guys can see it. Doesn't have much battery power, I don't think, because I've been updating it and loading everything to the system, so it was ready to show you on video. But I'll show you it's got BMW on there. You can see it's loading, and then it should pop up saying Foxwell or whatever it says on there. Yeah, there you go, Foxwell. I know many of you are big fans of the Foxwell scan tools, and as I said, they've been around for a long time. So we can't knock the company. They've been around longer than most companies that are appearing today. So at the end of the day, and I know they've got good recognition in the scan tool world. You can see here we've got diagnostics, update, data manager, my account settings, remote control, firmware update, VCI manager, shopping, auxiliary tools, coverage, list and shop manager. So in diagnostics, you can see right there, we've got BMW, we've got real BMW Mini and Rolls Royce. So you can see there's no Mercedes, because you would have seen on the sleeve, as I showed you, it was a Mercedes-Benz one that they sent me, but they've updated it to make it all for BMW. So it ain't gonna affect it at all. I don't know, Mercedes might still be there, but then I don't think they would have. They ain't gonna give you both of them for free. They've removed the Mercedes and then spun it to BMW by the serial number. So that's what they'll do if you do receive that one. So you can see all the options it's actually got. We just got to really plug it up to the car. It does automatic VIN search as well. It's something I know. We'll go through the diagnostics, go through all the functions and see what this scan codes do. But overall, it looks really good. And obviously, as I said, it's a bit more expensive than the other ones. But in the same sense, it's all about what you prefer. Many people, like I said to you, prefer different brands, prefer different names. A lot of people trust Foxwell. A lot of people trust other brands like Launch, Topdon, things like that. It just depends on what you're into, I guess. But we'll go over and see what functions it's got. It might have different functions to other scan tools, but who knows? I've got a feeling it's all going to be the same. So we'll plug it up and find out. So here we are, guys. We've now got it plugged up to my BMW 6 Series. And what we're just going to do, we're just going to run through it and see what functions it's got. So what I want to try first is the auto VIN scan. So we'll do automatic read, and we'll see if it can pick up the VIN on its own. So we'll just wait and see. So I'll say scanning protocol, and it will just start scanning, obviously, and we'll see if it can pick up the correct VIN for this car, because obviously it's BMW specific software, so it should. But obviously, as we all know, that's not to say it will. It does go through a long process here of scanning everything to find the correct line to communicate on. And there you go, it picked it up straight away. So it picked up the model, what engine it is, the year, everything else. So we'll just click yes, and we'll just go please wait, loading data. So that's already good. As many of you guys know, you've seen me do many scan tools, and many of them do not pick up on the automatic VIN anything at all. And it just causes you frustration because you have to go in and manually search. So by trying to do it on the automatic VIN works really, really well. So that already shows that this tool works well, and it's all been tested to make sure it reads and picks up the correct VINs, because really, you guys don't know how many tools I go to use and they don't read the VIN straight away and I have to sit there messing about with them, but this one done it automatically. Like I said, I think this is now my, 144th scan tool I've got now in total. I know many of you guys see me do a lot of different scan tools. This is my, I've got a big load of them from all different manufacturers, but this is my, now another one to my list. Like I said, I've got so many, but in the same sense, it's very good because when I want to do reviews for a lot of you guys to see which one's better than the other, I can do that because I've got them all. And like I said, it's just They play out really, really well. All of them do something different, and I've come to realize that every time I, go to use a scan tool, I think, oh no, this one can't do it. I end up finding another one that can do it. Like for instance, the other day I was using the Launch Creator Elite and it couldn't do something, which then I switched to the ThinkCar one. As many of you guys saw, that was the last video I'd done on a scan tool. And that ThinkCar one I've been using quite a lot actually. It's been really, really good. Don't get me wrong, I love the Launch Creator Elites, but that ThinkCar one is brilliant. A brilliant, brilliant scan tool. And that's the one I've been going to now to use a lot of the time. But obviously we'll see what this one's like, because this one could become my next one I end up using. Like I said, it just depends on how it runs and what functions it's got for many of you guys. As you can see, it's loading there, so we'll probably come back once it finishes loading, because this can take a bit of time. Okay guys, so now it's loaded. Here's what we have on the system. We've got diagnose and service. So if I go into diagnosis, we're just going to quick scan. We'll just run a scan on it, see how it all works. And you can see there, it does scan the vehicle and it shows you the accurate modules which you'd find on a BMW. So it's not going to give you no generic codes, or it's going to give you the specific codes for BMW. So we'll just run for all the fault codes, see what we got there. We've just got one in the DME, the motor electronics. We'll find out what that's for in a minute. But overall, it scans it nicely. Obviously, it's not the fastest of scan tools to scan. As you can see, it can take a bit of time, but I suppose it does what it's needed to do. And obviously, if you guys want to know the price of this, this goes for around, you can find it for around £220 to £320 for this scan tool. So this is the price of this scan tool. And like I said, you guys can work out if you think it's worth it once I show you all the features and functions it's got on it, because to some people it's worth it, to others it ain't. To some people, they might trust the Foxwell brand, they might have a lot of other Foxwell brands, so it's worth it for them to upgrade to a newer one. And to others, it's not worth it because they've already bought a scan tool that can do everything that this can do. So it just all depends on the person, depends on what they like, what they feel. But obviously, this Foxwell one does read everything on the car. It does read at some point, but as I say, it can be quite slow. As you can see here, everything can take a while to scan. It's not as fast as the other scan tools. So that's one of the downfalls of this, I suppose, over other ones. They scan it quite quickly, where this one is taking its time. I mean, I'm sure they could make it a bit faster than this to scan the car than having it this slow, because obviously I know many manufacturers will say the slower it takes, the better the diagnostic it will be, because obviously it will do the diagnosis accurately because it's running slower, which means it's got more time to read the modules than doing it quickly, where it hasn't got time, where it just scans them and doesn't manage to find every fault. But in the same sense, this is scanning every single thing. And I don't know if it's scanning things that we don't even have on the car. So who knows? But it seems to be doing a good job. It's bringing up things that I don't usually see on other scan tools, all this CCC CD changer, CCA aerial tuner. It's bringing up all this kind of things now. Obviously on other scan tools you do get this, but there's a lot of them that don't show all this kind of stuff, but this one's showing everything, like the light module and the controller, all the things you'd basically find when you use ISTA or things like that. Is showing every single one. Now obviously this can't do programming and coding because it's not that advanced, but I do know it's bi-directional, and I'll show you that in a second once it finishes the fault diagnosis inside the car. Obviously I'm curious to see what this one is for the engine electronics on the ECU, because we didn't have any fault codes, but if we do, I will sort that one out. I'm sure we'll do a video showing you how to sort the problem out, whatever it is. It might just be a minor thing, could be something serious, but I haven't been using the car either, so could be something from turning it off and turning it on too quick. I don't know, but I'm curious to see what that fault is in the DME on this car. That's the only one fault it's got, I think. And another one should be for the fogging sensor, which many of you guys know. You'll see that on a lot of your cars. A fogging sensor code is just common on BMWs, and it's no point replacing them at all because they just go again anyway. So it's pointless. That code ain't going to affect anything. But if you want to clear fault history, then obviously replace it. But it doesn't bother me having that code. The main one I was concerned about was the AUC sensor, which I replaced, and that's been eradicated now. But let's see what fault code comes up now. We've got 100%. We've got one with integrated heating. Let's see how it loads up. Read codes. See what this one is. IHK fogging sensor, as I told you guys. And what we'll do now is we'll read the others. What's in this one in the DME? Let's read that code. Air conditioning request. Okay, I know what that one's for. Because I already removed it, but we can now erase the codes. Let's see how quick it erases them. So it shouldn't have to erase every single thing. It only has to erase the ones that are on here. We'll just erase them. So there isn't no faults on the engine, at least. That was just because I removed the climate control panel the other day. I remember doing it and I put the ignition on while it wasn't plugged in. So now we've got that. That should clear and it shouldn't come back now anyway. So now we've done that, we'll go back. Let's get back out of here. Then you've got control modules. Then you've got your bi-directional control. So you can see here we can go into engine, DME electronics. We've got active test. And we can do all the solenoids, valve activation, electronic coolant pump, anything we want to do really. We've got the EGS transmission management. We can go into there as well, active test. Sonar advisor set control unit result, valve train, selector, sequential manual gearbox transmission. We've got chassis, we've got all the things in here we can actuate as well. So we've got obviously steering angle sensor, CAS, with steering lock, if any of you have that. You've got all the different things here you can activate on to do with the iDrive system. Heads up display, the control body module. You just pick what module it is in, which you need to activate, and you can just do the active test on it. As you can see, electric steering column, roller sun blinds, anything you need to do. Obviously it's a convertible, so I can do the roof, check the roof's working, the amplifier's working. You can check basically everything you need to do. So it is bi-directional as well. Like I said, I don't believe this does coding and programming at all. It's just basically a simple basic scan tool for £200, £300. It can do bi-directional. It can read your fault codes, are specific for BMW. It's not for other brands. So if you guys want to buy it for all different brands, it's not for that. They only do them for Mercedes, BMW or Volkswagen, possibly Audi and everything else, you know, out there, German cars. But Foxwell is mostly dedicated to one specific manufacturer. You buy it for your manufacturer and that's it. As many of you guys know, Foxwell's good anyway. It does all this stuff, diagnoses, and bi-directional. What more can you really ask for? That's what many of you guys ask for on a scan tool, that you want it bi-directional, and this one can do that as well as diagnose and give you the accurate fault code. So it is worth it for the money, but obviously it's not the most highly advanced scan tool. If you want that, you need to pay £1,000 or more to get that with coding abilities and things like that. But for your normal basic scan tool that can do your basic stuff, which is what most people need on BMW to find a fault, this will do it all just like the other ones do, which are cheaper. So it's down to you guys what you think of this scan tool. Okay guys, so as you've seen now, I've now reviewed this Foxwell NT710 scan tool, and many of you guys get the drift of it. Obviously it's not going to do your coding and programming, and anyone who expects that for £200 to £300 for a scan tool is a complete fool, because you're not going to get that on a scan tool that's only worth that amount of money. If you want them kind of features, you're going to have to spend a good £500–600 upwards to get them features on a scan tool. Now that's not even to say that them scan tools that are £500 to £600 are even going to be able to program properly. And I know this because I have them all. And the one that can do programming is the Topdon Phoenix Pro, which does it perfectly. That's the one I use for everything now for programming. I don't use Ista. I don't use eSystem no more. I don't use any of it, because that Phoenix Pro is brilliant at what it does. Now it's not easy to get it into the program mode. You have to install another piece of software to get the programming to work when you first get it. But if you know how to do it, it works flawlessly. And I've used that for everything, for updating almost everything. But if you just want your basic tool that can read codes and be able to do actuation tests and be able to actuate certain things on the car to test if something's broken, which I always tell many of you guys, when it comes to diagnosing BMWs, use the actuation test all the time, the bi-directional controls, to test if that piece ain't working or that bit is working and not working and something else ain't working, purely because that's where you end up becoming a parts fitter and just replacing everything and coming to no conclusive diagnosis, because many of you just see a fault code and think, oh, that's the problem, and it ends up not being a problem, it ends up being something else. That's where these kind of scan tools come in handy. Now, as I said to you, this is a good scan tool. It does what it says it does out the box. Obviously, it is a bit more expensive than, as many of you guys know, other ones that I've shown you, ones that I highly rate. Obviously, this is a good scan tool as well, but obviously the price is a bit expensive, as many of you guys know. nobody's gonna wanna spend £200 to £300 when you can spend £100, £150. Doesn't make sense. That's gonna do all the same things that can also do coding. This one doesn't do it, and it's such a shame because if it did, then it would be up there still with the other ones, but it's still too expensive for what it is. I know many of you guys are loyal to the brand, and if you are, that's fine. Go ahead and buy it. But like I'm saying, I'm not sitting there saying it's a bad scan tool, just saying for the price of it, it is a bit expensive when you can buy other ones that do more for less money, and that's all many of you guys are ever gonna need. But for this, some people are loyal to the brand and some people do believe in just Foxwell. And I do know that I've got a lot of you on here that love Foxwell scan tools, and it might be good for you if you want to update your older one to the newer one. This is a brilliant one for you. And obviously, you know, some people just like to stick with what they know. So therefore, this scan tool will be linked in my description box below. And if you have any questions, you can leave questions in the box, and obviously I'm sure Foxwell will answer them because they watch the videos as well, and they'll help you out if you want to know if it does this and does that. I'm not too sure how long the subscription is on this. It could be a year, could be 2 years, could be lifetime. I'm not sure. They didn't tell me. It doesn't say on the box either. It doesn't say in the store either what it is, so I can't tell you that. But to be honest, I'd be surprised if it's only a 2-year subscription you have to pay again. I'm pretty sure it's a lifetime one, especially when it's only got one manufacturer. So there you have it, guys. This is the Foxwell NT710 scan tool. This was sent to me by Foxwell themselves. If you guys want to go and check it out, it will be linked in the comment box below and linked in my description. Thank you very much for watching. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.